Hello, it's Pod and Long. I'm your host, Ryan. It's great to have you with us. I'm here with a man whose foundation is entirely made up of possums. It's the Word of Drew.
As if you needed any other greater indication that I am past my athletic prime, about 45 minutes ago, I rolled my right ankle in my house by tripping on my pant leg.
Not rodent. That's good.
Off to a great start.
I wish I had tripped over the cat. That
America must deal with the menace of Jinko jeans.
We're also here with a man who I don't believe has any possums. It's Mr. Mike.
We actually are deep in possum country here. Welcome and enjoy.
Possums are the entire government of our area.
Look, it's possums all the way down, Ryan.
It's possums. They're taking over. And we're also here with Mr. Megastar Mark.
I cannot wait for two things. I cannot wait for the Degrassi podcast that Ryan and I were discussing before we went on the air.
Oh.
Drew. You're gonna hear some insight into that when we go off too.
Oh boy.
You're excited. And I can't wait for the striped spiral so we can talk about my favorite team, the Oregon Ducks, the undefeated Oregon Ducks, who I've been supporting since the beginning.
Mark's only college football love, the Oregon
last
Ducks.
man standing. The
I
Oregon
like
Ducks.
you're down to one, so there you go.
And their
All
kicker, Atticus Sappington.
right. You're a big Sappington guy, and we know that.
Yep.
Oh, you're gonna name your possum pet Atticus. We know that.
That's a good name for a possum.
It's a great name for a possum. Okay, we're here to do the A block and all the other blocks. The segments are back. We had voices last week. A lot of comments about the voices. We got new voices. We've got Coitus Rob Ryan. We've got a lot to do.
I didn't really mean to speak that into existence, but here we are.
Here we are with that.
I regret nothing.
Look, I mean, it's the natural endpoint of oiled up Rob Ryan. You don't get oiled up if it's not quite as
right.
Yeah, well, you don't get oiled up just to sit there and do nothing.
He doesn't strike me as somebody who tans.
No.
Oh, certainly not. All right. Categories. Let's jump right in. Let's jump right in with maybe the wildest game. They're the most entertaining team. I don't know if they're that good, Mark. Your Commanders. Mark's Commanders.
Man.
What a game. They look like they're going to lose. They look like they're going to win. The New Orleans Saints themselves. Then the Cowboys do stupid shit. And then they still had a chance to win.
Yeah.
Mark's Commanders go down to the Cowboys and Cooper Rush. What a horrible special teams game.
Yeah, I think also like watching some of this game. This is on the Commanders coaching staff. Like teams have figured out what Jaden Daniels is doing, and they are not adjusting. Like the Commanders are just letting him go out and running the exact same game plan every single play, every single game now, and other teams are just figuring it out. So they got to change things up with him. I think he's capable of doing that. I just think the coaching staff needs to get off their ass and come up with a better plan for him.
Are you saying the 8 Tecmo Bowl plays they're running are no longer effective?
Oh my God.
Up and B.
Right, B, flea flicker, go!
Oh my God.
Whoa,
the Cowboys. Oh my God. The Cowboys. I don't know how they won this thing. I really don't know how. 2 kick returns for touchdowns.
Yep. The missed extra point though. Oh my God. That's
how about me as like a damaged Niners fan, or is the special teams play this season particularly terrible?
Kickers are making it from longer ranges, but like punt coverage is bad, kickoff coverage is bad. Just a lot of like
not adjusted to the new rules enough yet.
Yeah,
probably not.
I don't know. That pass was insane. there were what 5 Cowboys within range of tackling Terry McLaurin, and none of them did,
Yeah,
or
he kinda,
stopping
like,
him in any
blundered
way.
into the end zone. So, yeah.
You remember when the Saints did this years ago? They didn't do it exactly like this. They had that play where they threw it and it was like one of those not flea flickers, one where you pitch the ball a million times, and they end up
Broken left.
scoring,
Mhm.
like with Dante Stallworth or somebody
Yes,
scores,
I do remember.
and then they miss the extra point to
Extra
lose
point.
Oh,
Yes.
right. Yes. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah, yeah.
I do
with
remember
no
that.
time left on the clock too. I think it was against the Jaguars.
I always remember the Saints at one point. This is when they were down. I remember the Saints like scoring a touchdown and then doing like a leapfrog celebration, and they were down by like 32 points when they
Yes.
did it. You're like, maybe not the right time to bust
Maybe
that one
not
out.
now. I still think the Commanders are going to get better, but
Yeah,
it's a
they're
tough loss.
super young.
Well, this is all bonus. Like none of us expected them to be particularly great this year.
True.
And the fact that they're playing well and are like still in playoff contention it's a bonus for a good young team. And it seemingly has turned them into a destination for free agents. Like players around the league want to go and play there, which we have not been able to say about Washington in our lifetimes.
Yeah. Well,
Right.
not since the 90s.
Huge culture shift there, and it seems to be really positive for Commanders fans.
Sucks to
Yeah.
lose this way, but yeah, I think there's
Especially
more
to a
positives.
division opponent. But division games are always, I mean, this was particularly wacky, but we say it every week. Division games are fucking crazy. And you never
Yes,
really
they
quite
are.
know what's going to happen. Yeah. You never quite know what's going to happen on these things. So Commanders, I think, are still going to make the playoffs. You know, I was looking at the standings before we started the show, and I do feel like they're kind
Probably.
of firmly in, but, you know, it's
Yeah.
it's hard for me to look at my Commanders and not see a one and done team at this point.
You never know, though. You never know.
Well, you never know.
That's why they play the games. Jerry, do you want to do Dip of the Week right now? Jerry thinks that Mike McCarthy should stay.
You just did it for me.
Okay.
Steve Kaziki, dip of the week.
Yeah,
He's
that-
back.
Jerry Jones, somewhere in his brain, thinks that Mike McCarthy staying there and coaching is a good idea.
He saved his job by winning this stupid game. Cowboy fans are like, no, come on.
Look,
Just
look,
wait till next week.
1 week record of the part of the stadium not falling on a Cowboys fan.
Mm-hmm.
1 week without accident.
1 week without accident.
If they get fucking torn apart by Drew Lock on Thursday, McCarthy's gone.
You mean when they get taken out
That
by
would be the
Drew
most
Lock?
fine thing to do right now.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing I'll root for more than Drew Lock on Thanksgiving Day. You know that. My family will have no idea what I'm doing.
Vito's injury.
Why does he care about Drew Lock now? All right. The Harbaugh Bowl happened last night. I completely almost missed this. I'm like, oh wait, it's the Harbaugh Bowl. They're back. Ravens beat McConkey.
Ravens needed this one though. I didn't realize going into this game they were their conference record was 4-4. Like if they went to 4-5 in conference, that's real hard to climb out of. So
McConkey went down. I don't think he played particularly well, did he?
no,
Well,
he did. He had like 84 yards. He was all right.
All right. So what do we? What does
How
McConkey?
dare you besmirch McConkey?
I got a text message of somebody who was buying their kids' McConkey jerseys last week.
I want to know that man.
Is it a mutual
It
acquaintance?
is.
Okay.
See,
Yeah.
It's Kyle.
Told me the
It's our
same
buddy
thing.
Kyle.
Yes, Kyle told me the same
You
thing.
don't want to ruin the surprise, but
so is he from Athens, Georgia? Dear God.
he likes McConkey, just like us. McConkey, what did he do? You got 84 yards? Is that what it was?
This week, McConkey uncovers the seamy world of adultery and corruption when he investigates a couple of suspicious deaths where the perpetrator appears to be a young boy's beloved pet dog.
I'll buy that.
Yeah.
No guest stars this week? We got no guest stars?
Don Rickles
Ugh.
as
All
the
right.
voice of the dog.
Yeah, I was going to say. All right, good. Lad McConkey had 6 catches for 83 yards. A fight put up here, but the Chargers just don't have enough to beat the Ravens right now, I don't think. I think that's
Mike's Chargers
simply
here.
that.
Again, you all know my irrational
Mike's
love for
Chargers.
Lad McConkey at this point.
McConkey.
I think he is potentially the most talented number 2 receiver ever. Not ever, but like in the league. Like they need one other guy. McConkey is like a Cooper Kupp or a like Wes Welker or like Debo to some extent. Like he's that dude you want to move, like doing all the moves and whatnot. And they need just like a big, not Randy Moss, but like a big wideout who can stretch the field and let McConkey kind of run around like a crazy man and make plays. And they get that guy. I think this team is in a really good position to win some games. Like I think this Chargers team is really good.
They thought they had that guy with both Mike Williams and Keenan Allen, but neither of them.
They're 0-2 on that. Like that.
I mean, they're 0-3 on that because they drafted Quentin Johnson, and we saw him drop a key pass where it was wide open.
I mean, at least with Keenan Allen and Mike Williams, like they were kind of derailed by injuries when they were playing. They were that
Keenan
guy.
Allen especially was really good.
Right. They just, my God, they just could not stay healthy. And Johnson just, I mean,
Johnson couldn't catch chlamydia from a $2 whore.
He's still young, but oof.
Oh my God! Was that a joke by McConkey in the '70s show?
Well,
is that written for? Is that dialogue from the show by McConkey?
That is directly from. That's Don Rickles.
Yeah,
that's the dog. Oh, okay.
You know Rickles is going to deliver that line.
Yeah, you could do that. Oh my God!
Good one, Puddles.
Puddles.
Can't believe they call me Puddles. Bullshit.
He has to be bleeped.
Wait, what was the name of Drew? You know this. Killer Greg Fish. What was the name of that?
Jimmy.
Jimmy.
Jimmy, but then Jimmy got given away, and the fish was renamed Sparkles.
Given away?
Oh, it's a whole thing. It's a whole story.
The day Killer Greg really gets emotional talking about it. It's pretty fun.
And
somebody gave his fish away?
His mom did.
Yeah, and not emotional as in sad. Emotional as in irrationally angry that the fish was given away and then got renamed Sparkles. Like that's what gets him.
Wait, the same fish was renamed, or he got a new fish?
No, same fish was renamed Sparkles at his new home.
I have
Jimmy also had 12 consecutive guinea pigs named Paco. So,
oh my God, I need to hear that story immediately.
It's not mine to tell. He tells it best.
I'll prompt him tomorrow. So
please do. Oh my God.
By the way, I was Greg and I were together last night at the Red Wings Islanders game, and he spent 10 minutes trying to sell me on Will Levis. I'm still not buying.
Oh,
well, that's a good point. Let's go there to that category. What?
Ain't no surprise to me, baby. What have I been saying?
Take out the Texans. I think it's only appropriate.
X-Pac! Think you can tell us what to do? Yeah.
The Titans are X-Pac, not only because of Greg, but because of Will Levis. And
they made a sex tape?
Yes.
Ew.
I think one of them did. I think Will may have, right?
Oh my God!
If not, he just filmed one after that win, baby.
If not, he definitely has one and it hasn't been exposed yet.
You want to tell the world the text you were getting during this game from me? And
a barrage of Will Levis propaganda was being sent my way as I was trying to work. It's Will Levis. I told you, Will Levis. We both think Will Levis is good.
Ryan, what do you think?
No, he's not. He's still crazy.
I have some thoughts.
Please give us your thoughts. Get us back on track.
How about that fucking Orton line now?
I know. He should be like one.
You know what Black Purdy doesn't do? Lose to fucking Will Levis.
This is like 3 weeks of anger now.
Bullshit.
CJ Stroud. What happened to you?
I want to talk about how great Will Levis is, because I feel like he's not talked about enough on this podcast.
It hasn't. We've never said
assholes keep shutting me down every time I want to talk about how great this man is and is going to be, and he put up a hell of a game. Go ahead, apologize. Go ahead.
There seems to be a recurring theme this year of us being wrong about shit.
Greg did re-espouse his theory that the Titans still need a quarterback closer to finish the game.
I like that
person
plan.
Is not Will Levis.
I do like that plan. That seems like a flawed plan.
Especially because their backup is Mason Rudolph.
Yeah, right. I don't think Mason's going to do it.
I believe his initial idea was like a Joe Flacco-esque guy at the end of his career as the closer,
Yes.
which, I mean...
It's not bad.
Gucci's going to be available, eh?
I was gonna say
Yeah.
Gucci needs work.
He'll love Nashville. He'll start a podcast with a Hawk to a girl. It'll be great. Talking about aliens.
Yeah.
Ryan,
Ryan.
Ryan. Don't put that out into the universe.
Also,
Oh.
no.
The universe is fucked, Mike. I
that
don't
is
know
the
if you're paying
problem.
attention.
That is the problem with Aaron Rodgers. He's not into fun conspiracies. I've said that for the longest time.
Oh,
If he
it's
was
the
into
bad. Yeah.
the moon is a spaceship, I'm down for that shit. I'll listen to
Why not?
hours of that. Right.
Yeah.
Or Bigfoot or whatever. You know, cool. But
He
no.
does believe in all those, but he never talks about that
Right.
stuff.
He never talks about it. That's the fun shit. He probably
Like the
has a lot of
dark
theories
side
on
of the moon
ghosts.
has Nazi spaceships on it,
Yeah.
like Iron
Yes.
Sky.
Right.
Go ahead, talk for that about 4 hours. I'll fucking listen to you. That's fine.
I'd be into that. Why
Yeah.
not?
But he's not into fun conspiracies. Into
He's
weird ones.
no. It's always the stupid ones that no
Yeah.
one likes. Titans win. My God.
Damn
By the
right.
way, if you've never spent any time on the website, the conspiracy chart,
Oh no.
enjoy it at lunch.
Okay.
It's
All
really
right, we have
good.
to do that.
All right.
It's
One
really good.
text message I did get from Killer Greg, which was hilarious, which has a piece in this show because it happened on the show, was he said, "We've already drafted 1 million offensive linemen and we still can't block."
Yes.
So look forward to another Titans offensive line pick.
I'm also going to say this as somebody who is the new man to this podcast still. You guys talking about Killer Greg is basically like bringing up your ex-girlfriend all the time. And it's
You're getting jealous? You getting jealous right
man.
now? You getting jealous?
you go ahead and call her. See what I care.
Maybe if you made me a sandwich once in a while.
Oh,
God, get in the kitchen.
Maybe if you did any work, you deserve this sandwich, you shiftless bum.
I ain't got a.
nicer things.
I
ain't
like
got a
what's going
job,
on here.
dog.
The domestic dispute between you two now. Okay. Oh boy. Is there something wrong with CJ Stroud, or is it just the team's not as good this year?
I don't know. There's definitely a sophomore slump going on. It's
slumping?
beyond the team, right? Because you got
I
Nico
think-
Collins back, who had
Yeah.
an okay game.
He did score and it got called back, which he's the
Yeah,
king
they've-
of
They've had a
that.
bunch of shifty lineups, though. Laramie Tunsil has not played well for them this year.
Oh.
He's gone from all pro to kind of a run of the mill guy at best, and that makes
Yeah.
a difference.
I think he's hurt. He's been like every game
Yeah.
I've seen the Texans, he goes out for a while and comes back in.
Yeah. And they've missed both their wide receivers. Like they just don't have a
Yeah.
lot of continuity, and then their best offensive lineman has played like crap.
Yeah. I look at this team, and they're going to probably finish fourth because nobody else in that division is going to win this division.
They'll
So the
win it.
Texans are going to win this thing, so they'll probably land at number 4. They might not make it out of that if they play like the
Yeah.
Ravens or the Steelers at
They
5.
lose.
I think they lose that game. I mean,
Yeah, probably. Unless they can get their act together here in the next couple of weeks, but it's not looking good. It's getting worse.
Seems to be the state of Texas idea. Get in and one and done.
yeah, collect your
Love
paycheck.
that. They do love that.
Don't put that hurt on Sark too early.
Caleb's dead is gonna be so sad. Hey Caleb, do you wanna come to Chicago? Hope you enjoy getting sacked every time you throw. Here's some life advice you're gonna need to know. Don't drink from the Green River or eat the yellow snow. Good thing you got used to losing there at USC. Chicago loves losers. Just look at the Cubbies. Caleb's dad is gonna be real sad if it's 3 years of saving Eberflus's ass. To be the top pick would be the meanest trick. With that NIL cash, you can't better be a bear.
He's very sad. Caleb's dad is very sad because
Billy, he's fine.
the Viking, he does have Billy D. Williams, his
Yeah.
other son who plays lacrosse.
Oh,
or
what
something.
have we here?
Yeah, lacrosse.
He doesn't play football.
Yeah.
Is lacrosse? Do they have NIL money? maybe at Syracuse,
Yes, actually.
but everywhere. Okay.
Did you guys
Bears-
know we could sponsor an NIL if we put together like $50?
Oh yeah.
It would be some random like backup center, but we could get them to like pitch for the show. I'm just saying.
Can we get Atticus, whatever his name is?
yes.
Beffington.
Oh, we should.
Can
look
we get
into
him?
that. Yeah.
Can we give him
Yeah, most-
$50?
Honestly, go to like any
Yes.
college football website now and just go to their roster page. There's usually a link where you can contribute directly to a player.
Which first off,
Basketball teams have it now. Women's basketball teams have
Can you
it.
pay Biff?
No, he's fired. And also, Biff doesn't need the money. He's like a secret billionaire.
Oh no!
No, it's a true story. He was a
Really?
finance guy before
A
he became a
secret
head
billionaire.
coach. Yeah.
So maybe we'll save this for Stripe Spiral because I have some questions about the future of the NIL and that kind of stuff. So
Oh,
let's
boy.
save it. But I have an idea.
Wow, my best.
I have an idea that might make this seem less crazy.
magnets.
Okay.
How the fuck
Magnets.
do they work?
Plastics.
How do they work?
Plastics.
Plastic.
Well, the Bears lost to the Vikings in overtime. Caleb had one of the most Caleb plays where he was like dancing around the pocket for a year and a half, and he could have just thrown it away. Got sacked.
I said it to you guys where
but
somebody
he also-
commented that he's the Patrick Mahomes Wario.
Yeah, that's a good bet.
But he also had one of those Caleb Williams plays, which is why he got drafted number 1, which is
Right.
the one where he rolls out all the way to his right and then chucks it 40 yards downfield across his body to find an open guy. Like that's
he
why he
didn't-
got picked number 1.
Yeah.
We look at his stat line: 32 for 47, 340, 2 touchdowns. Like
He didn't play that badly.
Really?
Why is he
Like, the
thrown
Bears are-
47 times?
Because they have no running game.
Yeah.
The
They
other
had-
Caleb, like Caleb Williams, he was also their lead rusher.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Like that's a problem, and I don't think that's all his fault. Like I think the Bears have been frisky. Like yes, they are 4-7, but like there's been a couple games where that could have gone the other way. Like the Bear.
Well,
Like,
the
I still think
Commanders
that-
game is the obvious one.
Yeah, I still think the NFC
Right.
North is maybe the most competitive division in football. Right?
Oh,
It's a tough
absolutely.
division, and the Vikings are
I don't know,
frisky.
Most teams play, and even the Bears being the worst team in that division, they're still competitive. Like, and they still play other teams hard most of the time. There's some brain fart games,
Yeah.
but like I think Eberflus might save his job. I know as crazy as it sounds.
Oh no.
I think he might. I think there's a possibility they look at it and go, look, a couple things didn't break our way this season. Caleb Williams is progressing. We'll get a new offensive line coach or something because we're going to fix the coordinators this year as like his last hurrah, and he maybe hangs on one more year. Not that I want him to, but I think it could really happen.
I mean, to me, that's lunacy. I mean, you're right. It could happen, but like that is a way to just basically just tread water next year. Like
Yeah.
what you're going to get out of Eberflus, and it's nothing. He's not going to lead this team.
Now,
Get rid of him
their
now.
schedule is Lions, Niners, Vikings, Lions, Seahawks, Packers. That is a brutal schedule.
They're gonna
Wanna
lose
win
a
out of
lot
that?
of those.
Like, you're gonna lose a lot. Now, they beat the Lions in one of those games. They get frisky. Hell, they win Thanksgiving Day. Are they playing the Lions on Thanksgiving? Is it Lions?
Yeah, they're not going to win that game.
I'm not saying
No
they're going
chance.
to. I'm not saying they're going to, or even likely. The off chance that it happens, I don't think it's likely, but I think there's still a non-zero chance.
We're
that
also
he comes back again.
we're also making it sound like the Bears could go 0-10 down the stretch, but by God, if they beat Navy, the season has been a success. Like,
Yeah.
you're getting into that territory, and that doesn't fly in the NFL normally.
The only thing I'll say about Eberflus's season is that he makes dumb decisions. Like his challenges are dumb.
Right. Yeah.
He did something really stupid in this game. I forget what it was, but
It was going
Somebody
for the,
put the
it was,
headset on a double.
the media asked about it, and he had no good. Like he was just like, I don't know.
He did it.
Oh, it was an explosive play he challenged, right? Is that what it was?
Yeah, right. That is so crazy that he
He
said
just challenged it just to try to get it reversed because it was a big play.
Him retaining his job would not be because it'd be in spite of himself.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not because he did something great. It's like he somehow
It's
made
because
a
someone
different
else
choice.
made an even dumber decision.
Correct.
that. Right.
Now we know that Dan Campbell can have that brain fart. We've seen it happen.
Yeah. You
Mm.
kind of do for one. Like it's coming. You just hope it's not in the playoffs. So.
Icarus is flying too close to the sun, baby.
Yeah, it's
Those
gonna
wings
happen.
are gonna melt at some point.
Right. I also, Mike, I kind of get that. I do have that very same feeling for the Lions. I do think they are one of the top two teams in the NFC, but I feel like they're due for something stupid.
I have this dark feeling that Campbell's going to make his mess up against Sirianni, and that's going to make me real mad.
Oh, God.
See? All right, next category. Snow game. Our first snow game was Browns and Steelers, and Jameis Winston has maybe his greatest performance, not just on the field, but off the field, being so weird the whole game, saying all kinds of stuff. You got to look up this audio track of Jameis Winston. Everything he said and did was insane.
He's like, I don't know, like Mike might know who I'm talking about if you're deep into baseball. He's like Spaceman Bill Lee, but evil. Like, he's just going to say some shit.
He's saying all kinds of stuff.
It's not going to make sense, and you're going to confuse it for a Carl Sagan quote.
Yeah.
And then he's going to go out and throw 3 touchdowns and 3 interceptions and steal some seafood.
And win the game. Somehow win the game.
Win a game.
Yeah.
In the snow against the Steelers.
I bet the Browns upset somebody else on their
Yeah,
schedule.
of course
I mean,
they
like
are.
somebody, I don't know who they're playing. I don't know what their schedule is, but I bet they have another one of these in them.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Have they played the Have they played the Ravens twice? I feel like the Ravens are like primed to be like
They could
taken
melt
out.
down in one of those games. Yeah.
But like Drew, you said he's evil. Bill Spaceman Lee. Bill Spaceman Lee spoke out in defense of Maoist China, Greenpeace, and population control.
Yeah, but you weren't really ever sure that he knew what he was talking about.
Saying Maoist China, you might be on the evil side of the equation.
As Carlton Fisk said, Bill Lee was the worst pitcher he ever had to work with because you'd go out to the mound to talk to him and he wouldn't even look at you.
Anything else to say about the Jameis Winston experience here?
It is as unique as it's come.
It's pretty weird.
But again, like, remember, we've been talking about how, like, okay, Tomlin might be coach of the year. Like, the Steelers
bad loss.
And then they pooped the bed against the Browns.
Yeah, bad loss
Which,
here.
again, happens to them usually once a year. Like, they lose to the Browns more regularly than I think we remember.
Yeah.
Like, Browns play them tight for some reason.
I'll be very disheartened because I actually think the Steelers team is different from previous Steelers teams, but because of the heart, like their schedule is real fucking tough down the road. If they do this again, where they start off hot and then fade away at the end, it's gonna suck because I do, like I said, I like this team, but
yeah, I do too.
Do they need to make a change back to Fields?
No,
I don't see why.
Leave Russell in.
I guess he's fine.
They're at Bengals, Browns, at Eagles, at Ravens, Chiefs, Bengals.
That's a fucking tough schedule. Yeah. I mean, only one of those is on paper a win, and it's a division game, so you never know. Like, it could go in.
The Bengals are kind of a hot mess right now. There's 2 games against the Bengals. They haven't played them yet, and I mean, they should beat the Browns the second time around. But that Eagles Ravens Chiefs stretch.
That's a rough stretch,
and it's at Pittsburgh and at Baltimore.
Yeah,
you're only home for KC. That's rough.
That is pretty bad. Okay, next category. Your team's a dumpster fire. At least those bandages will keep you warm. Those lucky devils in comas don't have to watch this shit show anymore. You fired your medical staff into the sun, but it was just too late. It proves the chance of a championship will always be second rate. 49ers, oh 49ers, your quarterback still lives with his mom. 49ers, oh 49ers, Mike's never gonna go back to being calm. But hey, Chip Kelly could still be the charm.
That's a lot of bold lingo for a man whose team has won 2 games.
I knew that's the thing you're going to say.
Ryan.
3.
Sorry.
Chris is busy. He doesn't have time to make more songs.
Yeah.
Since when?
He doesn't have time to make more songs. The 49ers ballad, baby.
Look. This game was a clown show. I knew this game was going to be a loss from the moment it started. I knew it was going to be a loss before it started. I'm sorry. You are not winning a game with Brandon Allen. So just
Brandon Allen. When did Brock Purdy get hurt? Was it last week? All of a sudden it was like, he's hurt.
He got hurt in the game, and then he tried to practice, right? And they're like,
Is that what it was?
like, not going to play this game.
Yeah.
Daniel Jones is available.
That's
you
what I'm
shut
saying.
your goddamn mouth when you talk to me, Ryan. How dare you?
Nobody could win with this many injuries.
No,
I'm serious. Like that. Like this. It sucks, but like
we are still a game back.
Yeah, right.
You guys talked me off the ledge after I'm like, Jesus Christ. We're a game back. 2 teams are 6-5. 2 teams are 5-6. Like, this is ridiculous. This division is terrible this year. And like we have, Bills next week's going to be tough, but then we have Bears, Rams, Dolphins, Lions, Cardinals. Like that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and even I think the Niners, if they're healthy, can beat the Lions. That's potentially 5 wins. I think we're going to lose to Buffalo next week. It's in Buffalo. It's at night. It's December. The Bills are playing, some good football, and Purdy might not even be back yet. Like that.
I think it depends on your injuries. Whether
even then, I think the Bills right now are playing better than the Niners, and the Niners haven't been fully healthy in a while.
So wait. This is not a leading question. I am genuinely unclear. As you describe the rest of the 49ers schedule, and you say there might be 5 wins in there, we think they are going to compete for the division, or we're sticking with this season is a diaper bag on fire?
I think it's a diaper bag on fire in the sense of like this is supposed to be a team that should win a Super Bowl. Like winning the division, yeah, they may win the division still, but winning this division should have never been a fucking challenge. Like this division, like even the Cardinals, yeah, they're okay, but like if you look at this Niners team and how they played the last couple of years, this division should have been a fucking walk away. And when you have this level of talent in this window in this time frame, like anything less than a Super Bowl sucks. And the fact that they are limping their way to a potential, like, okay, they still have to think about the division 11 games in at this point. Like deeply have to think about it is a dumpster fire.
I'm seeing a lot of people compare this season to the 2020 Niners season, but I mean, that's not after they got to the Super Bowl that year or the year previous one, they still made it back. They still rebuilt the team incredibly quickly. So the future I still think is very bright.
There's a lot of guys want to get paid, and eventually, like you guys said, we're gonna have to pay Purdy.
Yeah, but you got a shit ton of cap space. It's not like you're like the Saints here. Like, I mean,
look, I don't think this is the end of the universe, but like this is not when you're looking at windows for championship teams, like the window is not. It's not closed, and I don't even know if it's closing, but I don't know how much wider the window is going to go open at this point. Like, I think we're reaching the apex of openness, and then it's going to start to close a little bit. Like, they've got time, but this is a lost season. Like, this is a wasted season, and this has been a recurring trend, as Ryan mentioned in his beautiful rendition. I don't know what the hell is the deal with this medical staff. Like, this team in particular seems snake bit at injuries at key positions all the goddamn time. Why? It can't be that every one of these guys is just like, oh, we managed to find the key players who are made of glass. There's got to be some sort of shit going on there that I can't figure out.
I don't know. Like I was just reading too, like your guards, I guess, got banged up, but one of them got a concussion. It's not like you can't combat that. That just happens to some people. No. And the other one was just like a high ankle sprain. Once again, you can just get rolled over. I don't know. It just seems like bad luck. But like the Niners, I think, at full strength, are one of the best teams in the league.
Correct. But why can't we keep them at full strength for more than 10 minutes?
Good question.
I'm with you, Mark. Like, when you look at all these things in isolation, it seems like bad luck. But when it continues to happen to key positions throughout multiple seasons in a row, it begins to look more like a trend.
You come a long way from this moment. Oh boy!
My team has won Super Bowls in my lifetime.
They have. Congratulations to you. But so you needed
and my team has played in one recently.
You needed a song, dude. You needed a song.
Is 93 recent?
You needed a song. Okay, it is now time for the category Crush. I will crush you. The Lions crush the Colts.
I'm crushing your head.
Did they?
But Anthony Richardson.
with an outstanding line of like 11 for 28.
There
Yeah.
it is.
But he started strong, didn't he? Wasn't he like 6 of 10 or something? He at the beginning of it, he was okay.
I want to go back to something we talked about the other week there, where who was it? You were saying Lombardi was saying that whatever the hell his name is,
They don't change the offense.
that they don't change the offense, and that they should be using Anthony Richardson to run the ball more. So what you're really saying, what you are really saying, if you are saying that, is the Colts should not trust their first round quarterback to throw.
Kind of. But I mean, put him on the move a little bit more.
Well, once again, Anthony Richardson was both the leading passer and leading rusher for the Indianapolis Colts.
I believe that.
I
Whatever happened to Jonathan Taylor? Is he dead?
Yes.
No, he's still there.
He had 11 carries for 35 yards, Drew.
Hold on, Drew. Let me
Great
check.
day.
Hold on.
One rush was 14 yards. So 10 rushes covered what?
I don't know.
21 yards?
I've seen like the Lions. We've all seen the Lions like kind of blow out teams this year. This didn't feel like a blowout. Just the Colts kind of fought them tough.
The score was not indicative of how close the game actually was.
Right. I felt like the Colts were in this a lot more than some of the other teams the Lions have played.
Well, and listen, I think part of the reason Jonathan Taylor is averaging 2.5 yards a carry is because there's 9 dudes in the box.
Right. Exactly.
Like there's only one part of the Colts that scares you, and it ain't Anthony Richardson throwing.
Alec Pierce ain't going to draw double coverage anytime soon.
Sure not.
Yeah. Okay, so it's not a crush.
I don't know.
It's a light beating.
Yeah,
I mean,
seriously,
conceivably, mathematically, the Colts are still in it for the division. They're only like 2-3 games back. I mean, it's not unheard of that I've seen it happen before.
This is probably This is probably an exaggeration on my part. But if you were an opposing defense playing the Colts, knowing that Anthony Richardson is a less than coin flip chance to complete a pass, why would you not just cover zero blitz every play?
It's exactly
just every play.
Yeah, right.
Just send 8.
Yep.
That makes sense. All right, crush. The Buccaneers embarrass the Giants.
I'll give you that one. That's a crush.
And taunt Tommy DeVito.
Yes, that was
Best
amazing.
Baker Mayfield taunt since he pretended to masturbate against Kansas.
A classic moment.
I love that the 2018 quarterback class is showing up so strong this year, other than Josh Rosen. Like, that's very funny to me.
Yeah. Is Josh Rosen like killing it at his credit card company, like a call center or something?
Mm-hmm.
No, he's the general manager of a small chain of car dealerships somewhere in the Southwest.
That's great. Boy. What a beatdown. What a mess.
But now your boy Drew Lock gets to play.
Yeah. Yeah, because DeVito got hurt. I saw something that was the Vegas odd for the next coach to be fired, and Peterson was number 1, obviously. But they didn't list any of the Giants. They didn't list, Dayball, because they've already said that they're going to they've already basically alluded to that they're going to fire him, except they're not going to do it mid-season because they've never fired a coach mid-season. But they did, but it was Judge recently.
Judge.
Historically, they don't.
Apparently, Josh Rosen has gone to the Wharton School of Business now. That's where he is.
He was from like a rich family. He is. He was like an heir to something, which also probably explained why he never wanted to play football. Like, why would you?
He's heir to the Almonte fruit fortune.
An heir to something.
Just be angry all the time. Scream.
Oh my God.
The Giants were a mess. John Mara having to watch Saquon Barkley rip it up for the Eagles.
Oh my God.
That's the next one. Eagles destroy the Rams, which normally
does he just have like a cuck chair at every stadium he has to sit in now?
Yeah.
Like, this is where we're gonna sit you, Mr. Mara. Just sit here and watch what's gonna happen. You're not gonna like it.
This is your chair, sir. Yeah, that's the next one. Normally the Rams are in category because
that's the thing. Have you
I don't
noticed
care about the Rams.
It goes bad, good, bad, good, bad, good, bad, good. So this was their bad game. They're going to kill them, and then the following game they're going to get blown out. That's just how this season is going for them.
Oh my God, 300 yards from scrimmage for Saquon Barkley.
Oh my God,
he's ridiculous.
Oh, he
insane.
Sure is.
They didn't need him over in New York. They didn't need him at all.
Nope.
Here's the trivia stat, because there's all this talk about Saquon Barkley for MVP. I saw this trivia the other day. Can you name the last running back to finish top 2 in MVP voting?
Adrian Peterson.
No.
Marshall Falk.
No.
And top 2.
Too
And
far.
Because
Did I go back?
Peterson won it in like 2012 or
it's
whatever.
either
Well, then
Barry
it's
or
top
Emmett,
2.
probably.
No,
right?
it's a. As soon as I say it, you're going to go, holy shit! I remember that season.
Chris Johnson.
Todd Alexander.
Oh,
No,
really?
more recent than Peterson.
Jamal Charles.
More recent than Peterson.
I don't got it.
Is he retired?
Todd Gurley.
Todd Gurley.
Ah.
Yes, right.
But
Wow.
A name that time forgot.
Yeah.
I love
That dude
Todd.
his career was done at 27. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
That's nuts. I'm sad. I love Todd Gurley. He was awesome.
They just ran him into the ground.
On the ground, and then he got hurt,
Yeah.
and he
Yeah,
was hurt
right.
at Georgia.
Yeah.
Georgia.
Well, the Eagles kill the Rams. I don't know if there's much to say here. The Rams, it was their bye week.
Don't worry. They'll be back next week.
They'll be back next week.
Yeah. We'll talk about them. It'll be the reverse, crushed. They'll be on the other side.
They'll be back to sure. We're into the hat is backwards category, which means that Drew doesn't have to talk because it says Crosby is good, Bowers is good. I yield my time.
Although, all right, let me add this.
Please.
Because I hate myself this week,
Okay.
I went onto the Wikipedia and looked at the list of Las Vegas Raiders head coaches since they last went to the Super Bowl because I knew I couldn't remember them all, and I couldn't. If you are ready for this, so Bill Callahan took them to the Super Bowl.
Yep.
Subsequently
Okay.
was drummed out. They followed him up with Norv Turner, Art Shell again, Lane Kiffin, Tom Cable, Hugh Jackson, Dennis Allen, Tony Sperano, Jack Del Rio, John Gruden again, Rich Bisaccia, Josh McDaniels, who I had completely forgotten was my team's previous head coach, and now
Josh.
Antonio Pierce.
That was only a year ago, Drew.
I know.
I've
It just
already forgotten it.
feels like
Rich
forever.
Bisaccia went 7-5, like the only guy on the list with a winning record. Jack Del Rio was 25-23, but Rich Bisaccia was also an interim coach. However, he holds a space in my heart forever because he was the coach during that game against the Chargers.
Yes.
And Mark knows what game I'm
One
talking
of my
about.
favorite games ever.
The no you win, no you win, no we should tie.
Yeah.
Heck
Rich
yeah.
Bisaccia, like clearly looking across the sideline, like, "Hey, I'll lay this up, and we can both go to the playoffs." And the Chargers saying no.
Brandon Staley's like,
Refuse.
no. No.
no, fuck you.
Just amazing.
Jesus, what a game. I don't know that there's more to say. Desmond Ritter is
Nope.
going to be the starter moving forward.
Great.
Ooh, the Ritter.
Minshew's out for the year.
Don't
Yeah.
make me go through the list of Raiders starting quarterbacks. It's not
Minshew's
better.
out for the year.
That was bad too. He had it was like a shattered collarbone,
Shattered
like a
collarbone.
broken one, like a shattered
Oh,
collarbone.
no.
Oh,
Shattered.
yeah.
And I
Bad.
guess O'Connell is technically eligible to play this week, but why? Why? What does he
Why?
do for you? Nothing.
At this point, I mean, like the three quarterback prospects for this year are Ward and
Yep.
Ewers and
Yep.
I guess Sanders.
Ugh.
I know, right? Like, but you got to
You
get
need
one of them.
unless you're
I
getting
mean,
a Poochie.
I was going to say, I don't know if it's not the universe.
No,
Like-
Poochie wouldn't go to the Raiders. They're not close enough. He knows it, for whatever you want to say about Poochie, he knows he's at the end. He's not going to a rebuild. And the
Yeah.
Raiders have been in a rebuild for 20 years.
Got to trade for Dak.
But they drew a dump truck full of money up to my house.
Yeah.
That made of stone.
Were they nice shoes? Oh yeah. Oh god.
Oh, Poochie.
Different crusty moment, but still a good one.
Oh, Poochie. Okay. All right. You can play the real one now.
The team's a dumpster fire, but at least that hot mess can keep you warm.
I listened to this in protest. You had a fine week.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah.
Listen, if
I stopped
Boise
it, sure.
State is going to get a first round bye because they lost to Oregon, you deserve at least that much credit.
True.
Do I deserve credit?
Everybody loses to Mark's Oregon Ducks. Okay, that's fine.
Mark's Oregon Ducks. Do I deserve
Liberty.
credit for losing this game that they played
You almost
vanilla
had 'em.
defense the whole time and didn't really try until the last minute?
Look, you got to look at it from the perspective of for your team to be that close against potential, a two-time defense, two-time in a
Yeah.
row Super Bowl. Like They played well. Like that.
They did.
That should like young guy. It gave them a little bit of like jump and spark, and like I think it's something where they, they've won a couple games. Like they don't seem to be the hapless Panthers of last year. They're still not very good, but they also don't seem to be the absolute like looking for like everyone's looking for the exits as soon as humanly possible, which is good for the future.
And also, like, the defense looked good. You were getting in Mahomes' face. Like, not even I think you sacked him like 4 times, and then just the pressure you were getting up front on him. Like, the Chiefs' O-line, like, the tackles are bad, but the interior is usually pretty good. You were really doing some damage. I was very impressed by that.
It was surprising to have tied the game with a minute to go.
That was so fucking cool. That was so
tying the game.
I only want to bring this up because Mike mentioned Sparkle. The fish was renamed Sparkles. Thank you.
Yes.
Sparkles. Okay, good. I'm glad you fixed that for
Tune
us.
into the TGIF podcast for the second part of that story.
That's just in plugs. We're not going to talk about the episode. We're just going to talk about Sparkles.
Oh, there's some
Sparkle. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, we couldn't. The major problem with this defense is we could not stop the Mahomes. I love what you're doing there. It's like a club.
You
The
could not
club.
stop the stupid Mahomes run that he
We
always
couldn't
gets
stop the stupid
away with.
Mahomes run, which
Every
most
time.
teams can't.
Every time.
But we couldn't stop.
I can
that.
think of one team that could, but anyway.
The Bills did this year.
In the
Yeah.
regular season. Let's wait.
There goes my hero.
You did it.
That before.
You did it. You did it. Yeah, I don't know. I guess is there anything, is a moral victory actually a real thing or not?
Nope.
You gotta be. It's not a moral victories don't exist. But
It's not an embarrassment. It's not an embarrassment.
This team is headed in the
anymore. I
right
guess
direction. I think Bryce Young has shown a shit ton since he came back. So
Yeah.
he's not. Let's pump the brakes. I mean, he's done better.
he's no Will Levis. I get that, but like he's still like a close 4th. So
He's no Will Levis.
There's only
Poor
two
man's
moral
Will Levis.
victories. There's only 2 moral victories in human history that have counted, which is King Leonidas against the Persians and Byron Leftwich in that game where he broke his leg.
yes, it's true.
And he got carried all over the field.
Remember when Byron Leftwich was supposed to be like the next like head coaching phenom?
Yes.
What
He
happened
never
to
got
him? Is
enough-
he coaching
Faded
anywhere?
away. Yeah.
Well, he wasn't coaching Tom Brady anymore, and
Yes,
suddenly he didn't
right.
look as good.
there you go.
That's a problem.
But I do remember the Jaguars sprinting to the podium to
Yes.
pick him because that was the year Minnesota missed their pick because
We
they
watched
were
that
trying to
together.
get
Missed him.
Chicago.
Yes, we
Just to
watched
get
that
Lefty.
together. Amazing.
They missed him. I forgot about that. Okay. Okay. This category is the last category, and it is stupid. The Dolphins beat the Patriots.
Oh.
And they win. They go up by a lot, and then they start losing ground, and they have to put Tua back in.
That's my
That's why
favorite
it's
part of
stupid.
this.
That's why it's stupid.
They pulled them at 31-0, and within 3 minutes it was 31-15.
And they got to
And
put
we're
it back in.
oh no, we got to put it back in harm's way.
That's why it's stupid.
So
Ah,
I think what we're seeing here is the potential fact that Robert Kraft might be partially an idiot in the sense of like, okay,
Go on.
it was obviously time for Bill to leave. And understandably so.
Bill's got some sweet tits going on though.
oh my god, that picture is gross. Oh my god.
Thanks,
Oh
Mark.
my god. Why did you do that?
Mark specializes.
terrible.
Mark specializes in embarrassing pictures of him and Phil Mickelson.
Oh god, that was awful.
So anyway, maybe it would have behooved the Patriots to have done an actual coaching search and maybe done some interviews and not just randomly hired Jared Mayo.
Yeah.
Because it seems
Maybe.
like there are some questionable coaching decisions that happen on a fairly regular basis that are kind of hamstringing the Patriots a wee bit. I don't know if it was the right call.
You know what though? I'm gonna give Jared the benefit of the doubt in this regard. He knows he's got nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So why not roll the dice if you have the opportunity to roll it? Like, he's essentially shooting craps. What's an acceptable percentage for him to try something? 40%? 30%? Like, he knows he's got nothing. Why not take the season to figure out what works and what doesn't?
Yeah, I'm kind of siding with Mike on this one. Like, some of the regular play calls are pretty questionable, but a lot of that could also be tied to the fact that this is his first year as a head coach anywhere. So I mean, he might just be learning on the job, which is, you never want to see that, but it's not like there's any expectations, to Drew's point.
I mean, honestly, that's what you want to see out of the head coach of one of the $32 billion franchises is, figure it out as you learn on the job. That makes sense.
No.
Good time for it.
You know who's sitting at home available? Jimbo Fisher.
Oh, God.
Let's make it happen.
No.
I think the Dolphins, by the way, look. I mean, it was against the Patriots, but they still looked good. I still think that. I think they have a real good chance of beating Green Bay like this week and Thanksgiving. I think they have a real good chance. This team is coming together right when it needs to. Now, my only concern is that Tua likes to die on national TV. That seems to be his thing. So, and boys are going to be an audience for this one. So.
Yikes!
But I do think the Dolphins have the talent to beat Green Bay in Green Bay. I really do think that they're turning around at the right time. So we'll see.
Okay. Other stupid category is the stupid Seahawks beat the Cardinals, who are stupid.
Correct.
The NFC West is the stupid division this year.
We've gotten to the point in the season now where there's at least one game every week where it feels like it doesn't fucking matter, and that was this game. Because as we already talked about, the NFC West
does kind of matter because the Seahawks are.
Yeah, but as we already talked about in the NFC West, it was like one of these teams is going to end up a little bit up, and one of them is going to end up a little bit down. It doesn't really matter which one it is.
Yeah, they crab bucket each other every single week, where one drags the other one back down, and one climbs out of the bucket and gets dragged down.
Okay, it's time for broadcasting moments of the week. We start with these pictures of, oh boy, Seibert with the miss for Washington after the 86-yard touchdown. Oh boy. Moving on to happier things, it's Baker Mayfield, Tommy Cutlet celebration. There he is.
He's also kind of mixing some Daniel Bryan in there.
Yeah, a little bit of a yes movement.
But yeah.
Have you seen this play by Baker Mayfield? This run by Bucky Irving. Look at Baker Mayfield down here. I just want to hit somebody, please.
Good on him. I fucking love Baker.
That was fun.
I'm coming around on Baker. I admit it.
Yeah.
This was a weird story. This wasn't on my bingo card this week. Mike Mularkey, former Titan head coach, comes up in the news this week because he lied to Ian Rappaport to prank his old team. Ian Rappaport was not happy about this. Those guys are yucking it up. Pretty funny, I guess. If you don't care about accuracy or reputation or rubbing things in the mud, everyone says Mike Mularkey's a good guy. He used to be. I liked him. I thought he was respectable. That's not cool. What basically happened was Mark Mularkey leaked to Ian Rappaport that he was getting a contract extension when he was being fired. Years ago. Super weird. How about Bo Nix?
Oh, yeah.
Look at this fucking stare down with the Raiders. You said you don't like Christian rock? What are you doing? Okay, we've got the I have to show this every time the Cowboys give up a stupid touchdown. Look at this touchdown they gave up to Tyreek Hill a few years ago. Look at this touchdown they gave up with no time left. Look at this. This was back in the Alex Smith days. There's literally no one there.
How do you throw into the sun like that?
He throws into the sun, and then look at this. Tyreek Hill score. Sorry for you, Jets. Bye week 38. Jets 3. Fucci. Jerry Jones, we already mentioned. He said he doesn't think it's crazy that he would keep a Super Bowl winning coach in charge of this team. Okay.
I think it's crazy.
I think it is crazy, Jara.
Mm-hmm.
This we can't see, but it's 13 minutes of Jameis Winston being an idiot.
Oh my god.
Mic'd up.
I hope
on
there's
Thursday
no
night.
Incident. I don't want to see that. So.
There's a lot of talking in here that's pretty funny. This is good. This is good. Urban Meyer, apparently, when he coached the Jaguars, bumped into Mike Vrabel and said, "Do I know you?" And Mike Vrabel said, "Yes, I'm the head coach of the Titans. And also, I worked for you for 2 years."
That sounds very on brand for
Oh,
Urban
yeah.
Meyer.
Urban Meyer, yeah, it does.
Absolutely.
Yes, you should know me. I'm
And I-
the coach of the Titans. And I worked for you for 2 years.
Knowing Vrabel too, he probably just like, just shrug that shit off and just moved on with his day. But
Yeah.
what? Where's the picture of Belichick I sent you? How dare you?
No, the boob picture, we can't put that up. Oiled up Rob Ryan would not
So
allow
hot.
it. Sorry.
Oh man, he'd be all over.
Coitus Rob Ryan. Stripe Spiral time.
All right, so as we always begin, and then there was one. The
Woo!
Oregon Ducks, the only
March
undefeated team
Ducks.
left in the country.
Mark's Ducks.
March
And
Ducks.
also,
Ducks
and then
fly
there was
together.
and then there was one. The Kent State Golden Flashes. They are playing in their last regular season game of the year. They ain't going to a bowl. With 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter, they have 7 points. The Buffalo Bulls have 43.
Oh,
So it's going to be
wow.
it's going to be an over season for the Kent State Golden Flashes. Look for their job opening on Indeed.com in the near future.
can we 4 of us take the job?
Why
Yeah.
not?
One of us can be
Four
the
head
head coach, the
coaches?
other one can be the coordinators. Yeah.
This,
Yeah, right.
this Mark calls special teams.
Yes,
it's a third of the
100%.
game, Mark.
Third of the game. I'm going to demand that every meeting.
You knew that was coming.
I want to know.
You guys know I had to be the head coach because I can do the press conferences, right?
I want to know. I want to know who the Kent State Steve Tasker is.
We'll find out.
Without
By the way-
without going into their roster, they have a white receiver. I guarantee it.
And by the way, whoever that guy is, that guy's never heard of Steve Tasker.
No, he is not.
No.
Right. Anyway, as far as the actual games go, this is one of the things that I kind of hate about college football is last week we spent a lot of time questioning the committee, and so did everybody else. This week the committee looks like geniuses because they got completely bailed out by every card falling in their favor. So Army loses, BYU loses in a ridiculous ending to Arizona State. If you didn't see the end of that with a 20-minute delay because 35,000 people stormed the field even though the game wasn't over. And, you know, their coach Dillingham is losing his mind. They got to get people back off to the benches. And then BYU throws a Hail Mary that gets caught but comes up short. Anyway, Arizona State wins, thus proving that, like, the Big 12 wants to do nothing but absolutely shoot itself in the foot. Nobody is happier that Army lost than whoever the Big 12 champion is eventually, because there was a chance if Army had beaten Notre Dame and run the table and the BYU and the Big 12 had produced a 3-loss champion, there was a chance that the Big 12 was going to end up out of this thing because the 5 highest rated conference champions are the only ones who are guaranteed a spot. So Boise and Army would have gone to the playoff and the Big 12 would have been shut out entirely. So right now today, the Big 12 representative of the playoff would be Arizona State with their win over BYU. There's like 8 teams that still mathematically have a shot at this thing, including Colorado, who have one of those, you're saying there's a chance, even though Colorado lost this past weekend to Kansas. And by the way, nobody wants to play Kansas right now because Kansas, who was the darling of the Big 12 at the start of the season, is suddenly playing like Kansas now that they're healthy again. In the meantime, so BYU lost, A&M, Colorado, Alabama loses again, functionally eliminates themselves unless a couple of people fall. This lets Clemson back in, potentially. Indiana, the score was not indicative of how well Indiana actually played against Ohio State. It was a little bit closer than the score would indicate, but they didn't look great. They looked okay against a far superior opponent, but they only fall 5 spots to number 10 in the rankings released like 2 hours ago. And so now your 4 first-round buys would be Oregon, Texas, Miami, and Boise State. And there's some ridiculous statistic with Texas. They would be the first team to win their conference in their first year in the conference since like 1940 or something completely ridiculous.
I also, by the way, not to ruin your train of thought here, but I really like that the Texas fans turning on Quinn Ewers as quickly as they have just to get Arch back.
100%.
Right. It reminds me of like railroading running backs and
just to get to Fred Jackson. But like that is the most Texas thing you could do.
I know.
Speaking of mistakes that Texas made in their distant past, North Carolina fired Mac Brown today. Sad. Poor one out for Mac Brown. I like Mac Brown, but he's already announced he will coach the team this Saturday, so he's finishing out the season. I don't believe they're bowl eligible.
How old is Mac now?
Mac Brown is the same age as Bill Belichick and Pete Carroll.
Okay.
So he's at the
73,
end, but
74.
he's not as old as everybody thinks.
Alright.
He was one of those dudes who went gray early, so he looked older than he really was.
Okay.
And then your first round matchups would be Georgia hosting Tennessee. That'll be a
Oh
fantastic.
yeah, that'd be a
Ooh.
great game.
Arizona State going to the Horseshoe, which will not be a great game.
No.
And then Indiana hanging on would go to Penn State. That is the game of like somebody's going to win this game and then immediately get their ass kicked. Because, oh, by the way, if you remember last week, I was like, don't be surprised when Minnesota beats Penn State. And it very nearly happened. I was almost prescient. And then SMU would go to South Bend to play Indiana. Frankly, I think SMU would win that game. I don't know. Maybe
Wow.
I think Notre Dame's schedule is a little soft. I think they have the worst loss of anybody remaining in the playoffs, that loss to Northern Illinois. And SMU is hot right now. If they win the ACC, which they would have to beat Miami to do, then if they win the ACC, they would obviously move up one past. They would probably get the first round bye, and Miami would end up going to Notre Dame or some combination thereof. But all of a sudden, with all these losses, there's a bunch of teams who suddenly feel like they have a fighting chance, including Clemson. And then, you get into 2-loss teams after that, which is a little dicier because a lot of them are Big 12 teams that would have to win their conference. But suddenly the door's open for Clemson, pending what happens with the Big 12.
Would it not be hilarious for the entire NIL new situation for Dabo to go on a hot streak and actually win?
And actually win with no transfer
title.
players.
Yeah, right.
How amazingly hilarious would that be? So, before we got on air, I was talking to the guy, Ryan and Mark, about this game.
One final thought before I get derailed. As Mark always says, beware because this weekend is rivalry week. So nothing's over yet.
Yeah.
Nothing is over yet. There's going to be something bonkers that happens this weekend. I don't know what it is. It might not be all that impactful, but there's going to be a huge upset somewhere. Anyway, Mike, continue.
So, my thought is this, and I sort of talking about the NIL money and everything else, is there going to come a point where to sort of restore some sense of competitive balance and to sort of relay the craziness that is sort of this new NIL system, that they institute an NIL cap, like a salary cap?
There's been rumors about that for a while. I mean, as recently as a couple of weeks ago, I think I heard the number like 31 million kicked around as a cap for your entire team. But
that's a Larry Ellison rounding error.
Right, exactly. And the problem with and of course the 31 million number, it's like, I'm trying to think of how to describe it accurately. If there's 134 FBS college football teams, there's maybe 25 who would actually hit that number. Maybe 40.
Mm-hmm.
Like it probably somewhere between 75 and 100 teams are never going to get close to $31 million. But that was the number I heard most recently. But there has been discussion of something like that, instituting a salary cap for college athletics. I still believe, and people look at me like I'm crazy. This is me personally. This is just speculation. I still believe that ultimately we may be headed to some sort of system like the soccer academies in Europe, except it would still be tied to the university. So like it would still be the Alabama Crimson Tide, but there wouldn't be an educational component to it anymore. It would just be, Alabama gets the branding of this football team that carries with it all the branding of Alabama football and all of the history and the pomp and circumstance. But they would essentially be paid employees of the university or of the state or of some other, like maybe the NIL collective then takes over as like a private entity or whatever. And I'm sure they could even work it so that if a kid went to go play for the Alabama Crimson Tide semi-professional football team, hey, if you would like to attend classes here, you can, but it would no longer be required. Like to me, that I still see that as a potential future, even if it's 20 years down the road.
The one thing, by the way, when we were just talking about the rankings and stuff, is I get so angry when I hear Alabama still get mentioned in the playoffs. If they weren't Alabama, nobody would be talking about them as even like possibly sneaking in. If this was anybody else, this was Duke or something like that, and they had 3 losses, they're out. It's over.
Well, where it comes into play for Alabama, I think, and I haven't looked at all the clinching scenarios, I admit it. But where it comes into play for Alabama is, let's say they win the Iron Bowl and Ole Miss loses, right? Ole Miss loses the Egg Bowl at Mississippi State, which is unlikely. Like that would make a clear road for Alabama to go to the SEC championship game. If they then were to beat Texas in the SEC championship game, it would be hard to keep them out, even as a 3-loss SEC champ.
I guess.
I don't think they'd get a bye. I think they would, I think Boise would probably jump them, assuming Boise wins out, and they would be that 5th conference champion. But as it is right now, the committee has them at 13. So I agree with you. I think their only way in is to win the SEC. I don't think they get in absent that.
Yeah,
because they would have to have too much other shit fall in their favor. But if they beat Texas in the SEC championship game, it'd be hard to keep them out.
No, fair enough.
So losing or not making the playoff, does that start some rumblings in Tuscaloosa?
I don't think so. It's Sark's first year. And if this were like Sark's 3rd year and he had missed the playoff all 3 years, maybe. But I don't think in his first year trying to institute his system, and frankly, they had, when Saban left, they had a bazillion dudes transfer out.
Right.
Now, they're Alabama. They also had guys transfer in, but the guys that transferred in were not as good as the guys who transferred out.
You said Sark. It's Kalen DeBoer.
Or I'm sorry, Kalen DeBoer. Yeah, Sark's at Texas. But it's DeBoer's first year, and even so, Sark at least was a Saban disciple. DeBoer is going to install a completely different system than what they were running previously. And as you've seen, Milroe is possessed of extraordinary athletic talent, but he's got a little bit of the Anthony Richardson.
Yeah.
Ooh.
He wouldn't surprise me. There's always one quarterback every draft who sneaks up because of good workout performances.
Milroe
could be that guy.
Milroe is going to ball out at the combine.
Yeah.
He's going to run a 4.45. He's going to throw the ball a bazillion yards.
I hear he's a good interview. He's a good kid. He's a good guy. Smart. So I feel like he'd probably come off well in those interviews.
Yeah,
so.
He's going to blow up at the combine. Somebody's going to convince themselves he's a first-round draft pick, because his physical talent is off the charts.
And this, as it is almost every year, the need for quarterbacks is
high.
Is
high. And we've discussed it before. General managers love talking themselves into quarterbacks who check all the physical boxes, because then it's not their fault when the guy screws up.
Right.
Okay, time for football FUBAR. Mark.
Yep.
Who do we got?
Tonight, I wanted to induct somebody whose name has come up several times while I've been researching other football FUBAR inductees. So I kind of only sort of vaguely maybe remember him as a player. But when I was researching Rick Neuheisel's embarrassing career, or Kellen Winslow Jr.'s epic journey into insanity, this inductee's name kept popping up over and over and over again as a comparison or with ties to, Coach Neuheisel. So, in fact, this man might possibly have the lengthiest rap sheet of any football FUBAR inductee to date. Okay.
What?
So let's give the devil his due. We're going to induct tight end Jeremy Stevens into these hollowed and mold-stained walls.
What?
So Stevens was a star tight end at the University of Washington under the very non-firm hand of Rick Neuheisel, who, as we already talked about in a previous induction, was totally cool with assaulting and raping. As long as you were a good football player on the field, you could do whatever the fuck you wanted off the field. And Stevens was most definitely not an exception to this rule. In fact, while Stevens was being recruited by Neuheisel, he was arrested for felony assault. He's 18, by the way, and arrested for felony assault. Neuheisel wrote a letter to the DA saying he's a good kid and they should let him go because Neuheisel wanted to recruit him and wanted to bring him on his team. They never pressed charges, so Stevens came to Washington. While at Washington, he had several run-ins with the law, most notably getting charged with rape, only to have that charge dropped despite DNA evidence due to interference from the now disgraced UW athletic director, Barbara Hedges. I guess that was the thing. He also got arrested in 2000 for his role in a bar fight. I love this, where he told the bouncer he was going to, quote, bite his fucking dick off, which let's explore that for a second. Okay. Number one, that's a very strange and specific threat to say to anybody. And number two, who's he think he is? Ming? What are you doing? Come on.
Ming.
So
Ming would do it.
Ming would do it. In 2001, he was arrested again. This time, by the way, he's in college still. everything I've mentioned so far is arrest that happened to him in college. He was arrested, this time DWI and reckless driving, after he crashed his pickup truck into a retirement home. The crash knocked a dresser onto a bed out of a 92-year-old woman who was sleeping. Stevens lied, saying he did not know who was driving the truck while he was still in the driver's seat.
The retirement home crashed into him, Mark.
He later pleaded guilty when they realized, oh, yeah, he definitely did it. Stevens was eventually drafted in the first round of the 2002 draft, going to his hometown Seattle Seahawks, where he would play from 2006 before ending his career with the Bucs in 2010. Stevens, who was regarded the next great tight ends prospect when he was drafted, despite his off-the-field concerns, completely flopped in the NFL. Never had more than 550 yards in a season, never had more than 5 touchdowns in a season. He naturally blamed everybody else for his shortcomings. But he definitely had some moments in the NFL. Very famously, he told the media before Super Bowl XL that while it would be nice if Jerome Bettis retired with the Super Bowl ring, it wasn't going to, quote, fucking happen. Stevens then went on to drop not 1, not 2, but 3 third down passes in that game, and the Steelers went on to beat the Seahawks 21-10. While playing against the Raiders in 2006, Stevens kneed defensive end Tyler Brayton in the groin, who in turn then kneed Stevens in the groin, and it began an all-out groin-kicking extravaganza in that game where both guys got suspended.
Rochambeau broke out.
Yep. I like that they incited each other and then just kept going. Also in 2008, he was suspended 2 times in a single season for performance-enhancing drugs, which based on his numbers were not helping. He retired shortly after that, but holy shit. This is where the induction really kicks off. Okay? So here's everything he's been arrested for after he retired. On March 3rd, 2011, he was arrested in charge with felony battery for punching 2 bouncers in a Tampa, Florida bar, but who hasn't? 13 days later, he was arrested at his condo after fighting with police officers after complaints were raised against Stevens by his neighbors. The complaints included vomit on their doors, not his, on their doors, used condoms on the back porch, loud parties at all hours of the night, and various noise complaints. On November 12th, 2012, he was arrested on investigation of assault after an altercation that left his fiancée, soccer star Hope Solo, injured. But a Kirkland, Washington judge dropped the case due to lack of evidence. The next day, Jeremy Stevens and Hope Solo got married.
Oh, my God.
Which has got to be a weird wedding.
Oh, my God.
Finally, on January 9th, 2015, Stevens was arrested in Manhattan Beach, California for DUI with Hope Solo, who was also arrested for DUI.
Yep.
And then he was charged with I love this too, with entering a car, arguing with the police, and then stealing a U.S. soccer team van while drunk. Apparently you can do it while sober, but doing drunk is definitely a no-no.
That's bad.
What about entering a car is illegal?
Right. Entering a car. That's what he was arrested for. Entering the car and arguing with police.
I'm sorry. I thought this was America.
So, yeah, long overdue induction on Jeremy Stevens. Welcome to football, FUBAR, you drunk fuck. So,
wow.
Yeah.
What a mess. I did not remember him at all.
No, when I have to scroll many, many times through your rap sheet, you're getting inducted.
You're in. Okay, it's time for Sad Boy Boat, which has to be all the New York Giants, right?
John Mara.
John Mara is on there.
Bad Boy Yacht.
Yeah.
He did. He owns the yacht
Bad
now.
Boy Yacht.
Tommy DeVito's doing sad hand motions.
DeVito, Daniel Jones for being cut and crying at the press conference.
He'll be a Raven tomorrow, so he's fine. So
he'll be fine tomorrow, but not yet. What about Dayball?
Oh, he's gone. He's
Lebar is about to get Lebar is about to be invaded by health code violations real fast.
Yeah.
Listen.
Awesome. The Bills knock that thing down real fast.
The Bills are going to lose Joe Brady in the offseason, so Dayball, come home, baby. Come home. We got a spot for you. Come on home.
Oh boy, I saw a tweet which I did not put in broad.
For the only New York team.
I saw a tweet that said it was a Giant fan. They just wrote, "I miss Fat Dayball." The fatter he is, the better he is.
It's true. That first year, he was so fat. It was just killing it. Yeah.
It's like Jonah Hill. He was funnier before. Now he's too skinny, and now he's in trouble and weird. Come on. Stop it. Stay fat. Let's make it merch for the show. Stay fat.
That's my philosophy on life.
Stay fat, Dayball.
Stay
it's like
fat,
stay gold,
Dayball.
Boy.
Stay fat.
Stay fat, Dayball.
All right, so all the New York Giants and their fans are on the Sad Boy Boat. Maybe Poochie, I don't know. Do you want to say anything about Poochie?
What's he saying? He's saying he might not come
saying
back next year. Now
He might not come back. He definitely will come back to the Jets, though. He definitely won't have a phantom injury.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be surprised. I'm curious tomorrow at the press conference what they say about him. Whether he's
We'll see. Playing.
Fingers / buttocks.
The Vikings are starting to make moves. They're getting prepared for a Pucci arrival.
Come on.
Oh God.
Please. All right. Time for game balls. The other side of the coin. Got a game ball for me, Drew?
Game ball to Mac Brown. As classy a guy as there was in the business, probably his last head coaching job.
Game ball for you, Mr. Mike?
Jameis Winston, what the hell? He's entertaining us, and he won beat the Steelers.
You're right. Okay, I like it.
And luckily for him, my game ball comes with a free selection of crab legs.
Ooh, yummy.
He's very excited about that. Megastar Mark, you got a game ball for us?
I got two. I'm going to give one to Saquon Barkley because of how good he is on the field.
Good.
And to my Oregon Ducks, who are just going to run the table and win the national championship.
Well done.
I was here from the start. We're going to be there to finish. No bandwagon jumpers around here, so I can't wait.
All right, I'm giving mine to Baker Bake for murdering the Giants and cutleting all over them.
I think Baker's suing his dad for like $12 million.
Is he really?
Yeah. I think he's suing his dad's company or something or other.
Wow.
Dad!
All right.
Dad!
You can't
Back in
sue.
the room, JJ. I'm watching McConkey.
Shut up.
What a forgotten quarterback is J.J. McCarthy.
The most forgotten man.
Yeah.
Dad, get
Now
out
he
there in the
just-
garage.
Now he just blends in with the rest of the Zoomers with their broccoli haircut, pajama pants, and Crocs at the local gym.
Best part about you injured is you don't bother me anymore, but you're still home.
Just
You can't get down the stairs on your own. Dad! God, start my automatic wheelchair.
Who left all the juice boxes in the basement? All right. Plugs. Bloody good music. What do we got?
Chris with excellent reviews of both the new Opeth album and the new Linkin Park album.
Whoa, two sides of a coin there. Linkin Park has a new album?
That's part of the article. Who knew this was coming?
You told
Our
me a couple weeks
childhoods
ago.
are coming
You
back
mentioned
into play, gentlemen.
a couple weeks ago. You mentioned the Offspring had a new album.
Yes,
which was
it's
just
awful.
astounding to
God.
me.
Guys, I'm telling you,
2024.
mom jeans and stupid old man New Balances are all the thing with the kids these days.
God, yeah.
They are just going full 90s right now.
Bring it back. Bring it back.
It's back. It's back.
Speaking of the 90s, the TGIF podcast will record tomorrow. We were
Good
supposed to record
segue.
last week.
That's
good
my segue right there, Ryan.
Yeah, segue. Recording tomorrow, gangs. I'm going to try my best to get that out as quickly as possible because we got to get turned around and get Christmas done.
Right.
So, gangs comes out tomorrow. And as we said last week, well, it doesn't come out tomorrow. We record tomorrow. Hopefully, I'll get it out quickly. Thanksgiving. You don't want to talk to your relatives. Listen to the TGIF podcast. It's better than that.
Have you guys done the drugs episode yet?
Yeah.
Oh, we did drugs. Yeah,
Yeah.
we did
That was
drugs.
actually a pretty popular episode.
You might need there might be enough
We
meat
might
on the
do
bone for another.
Drugs too?
Yeah.
Drugs too.
Remember when I had AI make a Full House drug episode?
Yes.
That was good.
Let's try a drug.
Let's try a drug.
not named. A drug.
What you need is an 80s TV of Alex P. Keaton accidentally creating his own cocaine ring, running with the Contras. Sha-la-la-la.
Well, this gang episode is something else. As we said last week, there's some twists and turns in here with the gangs. But yeah, we'll get that out very quickly. So stay tuned. Student of the week, how's Gum Guy doing? Does he like your gum that you're bringing in?
So Gum Guy, fun fact, comes to parent teacher night with his mom.
Who's chewing gum?
Wait, what?
Who's not chewing gum? And
Parent teacher night with their parent.
That's a good point.
for some reason, my school's weird about this. And he brought his either dad or stepdad, I think his stepdad with him, who I went to high school with apparently. And I'm like, this is a very weird little world that I live in. Gum Guy is actually a fairly decent student and pretty funny otherwise. Just the sheer audacity. Now, jokes on him, I have Polar Ice in the car. And next week when we get back from break, I'm going to proceed to eat an entire package of Polar Ice down in front of him.
Very slowly.
Offer him a piece.
Maintaining eye contact the entire time.
Yeah.
So,
I
yep.
like that. I like
Yeah,
this.
I did that today with a piece of cherry pie. It was pretty delicious.
That's good. Do we have an update on the Degrassi pod? Are we making progress on Degrassi pod? Is there a plug here?
Yeah. The update is we're gonna have a Degrassi pod. That's the update.
Podgrassi, if you
Yeah.
will.
Right.
Degrassi is going to be a thing?
Four of us can do this if you want to watch these episodes with me and Drew. But we're doing this shit. I don't care how the Drew
Mark
schedule.
is pushing for a new podcast.
I want to fucking talk about Man Ram. So
My God. All right. We're out of here. Happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy the bad football, and we'll see you next week.
bye.
Peace out.
Bye.